We are retrieving our soul fragments lost in the tech culture, in social conformity. Pluto retrograde wants us to step back into sovereignty of the soul, but we're doing this through a collective awakening, one where the technological purification is now reaching the forefront during this Pluto retrograde from May 4th until October 14th, 2025. I will be helping you understand how we're going to dismantle the unconscious patterns, narratives, social identity involved and linked into the group, being unwilling to say what you feel and what you know is true and accurate. With that, check the timestamps. We will go through the sacred transits. There's about 10 that I'm going to list out with the dates as well as what you can expect. Obviously, we're going to do our forecast for all 12 zodiac signs as well. And so stay tuned. This is your Ayurveda shaman, Pernell Bobby, helping other shamans to awaken to the dream and remember that you are always dreaming. And if that's something interesting to you, do check out my one-on-one application. We made some updates and some upgrades, which I think a lot of this Pluto retrograde will do when it comes to our technological advancements and how we use technology in a healthy way as we also work through the digital addictions and purifications of technological abuse, whether through AI, social media outlets, YouTube, etc. So let's get into some of the spirit animal medicines of this particular Pluto retrograde. There's two main ones we're going to talk about, and hit the thumbs up and the likes button. I want to say I love you. I thank you for being here early. If you're brand new and you're not subscribed, do subscribe if you find tremendous value from this video. Before I go any further, I want to talk about the Sabian symbols of where the retrograde starts in the beginning of this May 4th and where it ends as we go direct October 14th. And the first one at the 4 degrees, you round it up. It started at 3, but round it up to 4 degrees, is going to be a Hindu healer who glows with mystical healing power. And this imagery speaks powerfully for the shamanic path of energetic mastery. The ability to channel what you cannot see through discipline of aligning through sacred practice is truly what the message is about with this Hindu healer. So another invitation for you to come work with me one-on-one when it comes to shamanism, whether that's in retreat here in Mexico or whether that is online. The program will exist for both. All right. And the shamanic message behind this Hindu healer at the Sabian symbol is the collective is being called to heal from within, but using ancient and spiritual technology that is coming back from Lemuria, Atlantis, and a little bit even before that, when we were just an essence, and not through the artificial technology or the mechanical fixes that we've been presented in life. This symbol is the return of earth-based medicine and spirit-led wisdom, and it's happening within our digital world. So this is our first Sabian symbol that is happening at 4 degrees or 3 degrees for Pluto retrograde in Aquarius 2025. And then we're going to move to our next Sabian symbol. Now, October 14th, when Pluto goes direct, we have another Sabian symbol, and it is an unexpected thunderstorm happening at around 2 degrees of Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. And this is really the return, the sudden disruption, the illusions being shaken by a force that is awakening the collective to the dream, to the illusions, especially when it comes to the mental systems, communications, and the societal norms. We are having a tremendous disruption where when we start to move forward, here is your shamanic message behind this particular topic. I would expect a tremendously rude awakening where everything that is false as for a form of security that you've developed in the mind, which Aquarius likes to do, will be shattered. There is a safe group dynamic element to this shattering, this lightning storm, or potentially to the digital illusions that we may face that will be a part of the shattering. Okay, so I like to think that this will be people that you once maybe even idoled will really show their true colors, and you'll understand that their ideologies were part of your illusion, and really try to let that go. So this is a shamanic message of the storm is a storm of truth. Okay, shaking people out of the numbness, the silence, the detachment, okay, from nature and spirit is going to be one of your major things that around October you're going to be asked and called towards nature. Well, we started from the Hindu healer, okay, when it comes to turning back towards the earthly medicines, which again, like I said, I'm offering whether online one-on-one through a 12-week shamanic rite passage or one-on-one for a 7-day retreat with me here in Mexico. So let's move from the Sabian symbols to some of the animal medicine before we get into the sacred transits. Okay, so this is one of the most misunderstood animals, and it is a raven. Now, what's nice about the raven is very linked to Hades and the underworld, and it is a shaman's best friend, right? Like, it is the keeper of the great mystery. It's iridescent wings, is a part of how it reveals to us that it thrives in the void. It still shines in darkness. It is in the darkness of the womb, right, where death and rebirth literally intertwine, right? Like this Pluto retrograde, when it looks and comes to this raven medicine, is calling us to step into the mystery, all right? Especially in the beginning of this retrograde, so that we can reclaim our voice. That's what was shown to me the other day. Like I said, if you see my Attacked in Mexico video when I was choked, my voice was attempted to be suppressed during this Mars opposite Pluto. Literally aggression to suppress my voice when I turn pain and stories and traumas into medicine that I'm teaching you as the shaman coming in. So the raven calls us to step into the mystery, to reclaim our voice and our spiritual power, our spiritual sovereignty from the abyss of all false realities. Now, here's what's nice. Okay, when the raven medicine is aligned, all right, in balance, you will really be able to derive from it a spiritual awakening. You will be able to shape shift your perception. Shape shifting is a huge shamanic ability and tactic, as well as be able to see shapeshifters in your dream state and etc. But that's a different story. You'll learn that in the dream class in a one-on-one shamanic mentorship. And also the healing through ritual and truth. And so this is what happens when the raven medicine is aligned. Now, other than that, we look at when it's misaligned, how does that look? And this looks like manipulating the truth. This looks like using power to deceive. This looks like being obsessed with the darkness, but not having a purpose for being obsessed. And I've been here in my life, like I've been in depressed states, but really just like no purpose to actually pull me out of that, and becoming obsessed with the pain itself, the misery itself, the darkness in the womb itself, and not actually having a reason for being there, not trying to transform anything. So that's when the raven is misaligned. And then we'll move into the Thunderhorse. Before I go to the Thunderhorse, let me give you a suggestion for a ritual. Okay, we do a lot of rituals within our mentorship, within our coming here one-on-one, and within my online products. Like if you know your degrees and your sign, I have a product on my site that shows you all 30 degrees, no matter what your zodiac sign is, related to the major arcana and tarot, but also giving a breath work, a crystal, not a crystal, I lied, a breath work, a meditation, an invocation, and an affirmation. So every one, degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it comes with a ritual. So for the raven, the ritual is sitting under the stars. Okay, now full moon, new moon, you play with that, but in general at night, sit under the stars with an obsidian or a smoky quartz. And I recently just pulled my obsidian back out, and journal. And this is your shadow prompt question. Okay, what part of my voice or soul did I give away to be accepted or understood in society? So when you journal and you write this out, my next thing is then to burn the paper in a safe environment with use your mind, right? Use your intelligence. Burn the paper with the intention to reclaim that soul or that voice. But first you need to write it out before the burning. So now we move to the Thunderhorse. Okay, so the Thunderhorse is a very mythical shamanic creature. To be honest, it came to me more recently. I've never really understood this Thunderhorse energy. Horse energy, yes, I'm very closely linked to horses. I have a recommendation. Every time you see a horse in real life, bow your head, and you'll be very happy with how the results play out. But the Thunderhorse is a very mystical shamanic creature where it it often rides the lightning itself. So we know Aquarius is the little two lightning bolts, right? And it's riding, it's representing raw force, it's representing spirit itself. And the horse is a symbolism of freedom, right? But thunder gives this divine disruption. And together, the Thunderhorse will call in this power to break soul contracts, okay, that you have with oppression. And this is what Pluto does. It oppresses, it depresses, it sucks down, it suffocates until you see the truth. And then we will be able to reclaim our wild, okay, authenticity. Now, here is my actual ritual that I recommend. All right, if you have a drum, yeah. So I have my drum literally right there, but I'm showing you that you can make a drum out of anything. Anything. Or you dance, okay? So whatever it is, this is pulling on some of the fire, that the heat that comes from thunder and lightning, right? And I want you to move during a real and symbolic storm. So with this, you have to almost be ready to know, look, this is my ritual. The next time it rains, the next time it pours, if you have, spring thunder, lightning storms, summer ones, so you kind of got to be prepared for this. But when you see that next storm, or if you're in a wintry place and you get a hailstorm, whatever it is, let your body become the conduit. Let your body become the conductor of this divine force and shake off any inherited, and this is the key, inherited, right? Like oppression. So this is my recommendation for ritual here. And again, if you want more and more rituals, like I have at least 30 rituals in my website where it's going to be linked to your degrees. So you look, you have a Venus at 2 degrees, there's going to be a ritual there, there's going to be breath work, there's going to be affirmations and invocation spells. You have, Mars and Leo at the 4th degree, you look for the 4th degree and you'll see, okay, 4th degree is related to a tarot card, there's a breath work, there's an affirmation, and there's more. So this is me sharing a project that I've been doing behind the scenes, and I'll be very excited for you to join in and check that. Now we're going to move into the sacred transits. Before we get into the forecast for all 12 zodiac signs, we're going to give you a rapid fire of the major transits from May 4th to October 14th. Okay, so we're going to go individually one by one, but in general, May is going to be the initiation, okay? There is ancient healing gifts that we have that are in the process of reawakening, okay? But in the midst of this digital chaos, the noise that is going on, and there's going to be sacred leadership that will actually be called back to the online space, to spirituality, and it's not going to necessarily be virtually, which is why my sacred mission is to offer this retreat one-on-one in person, to take it off virtually altogether. But I also have the online version where it's not realistic. Everybody's going to come to Mexico. I get that, but I can promise you that I'm going to always bring that sacred leadership to my coaching, to my mentorship. Now, in the middle, we have July to August, okay? And during this phase, the storms will shake. Okay, there's some aspects I'm gonna talk about, like it's bananas, like the storms will shake. There's going to be a collective narrative. There's going to be ego, desire, and power games that will rise during this time, especially once we hit, that around that season, July to August, that's Leo energies, which are going to do a lot of oppositions. So some of these power games, some of these performative experiences online will potentially deceive you, but remember the medicine of the raven and you will see it through the mystery. And then finally, around October, we're going to have the integration phase when we go direct, Pluto direct in October 2025. And so this is when the thunderstorm of our soul will reclaim our power from these systems that literally no longer align with spirit. But let's get into the individual. This is the overall breakdown. Let's get into the one by one before we get to all 12 zodiac signs. We're going to talk about the sacred transits. So obviously Pluto Retrograde starts May 4th, 2025, but the first major transit we'll have is May 25th, and this is when Pluto will trine Mercury and Gemini. And this is going to be a whisper from the underworld reaching your mind, and these messages from your guides, your angels, your ancestors, your dreams, okay? They will feel undeniable. this is the time when you really need to be ready and prepared to journal when you wake up, to channel the energies and the voices that you hear, to speak the truth. And that is going to be something that has been literally waiting for lifetimes. And so understand that part of Mercury and Gemini is ruled by the fourth house, where you're going to be able to see behind the scenes, behind the veil of your dreams. And then we move on to, now we move to June 9th. And this is going to be a doozy, right? This is when Pluto will square Venus, okay? Venus is a personal planet of ours. It'll be Venus in Taurus. And the same day, Saturn, okay, who's ruling Aquarius in this Pluto retrograde, is going to square Mercury. So this is when your heart walls are going to crack open, okay? Remember I said around that June to August, there's going to be the cracking, right? There's going to be when the thunder hits, it strikes hot. And this is when the old ways of giving your love for safety are no longer going to work, okay? So Saturn will, at this point, test our abilities, but mostly our voice, okay? Because Saturn will now be in Aries at this time, and only honest emotions and emotional truths will get through, okay? Soul contracts, which Saturn is a part of, will be renegotiated during this time. But this is going to happen through intensity, right? Because it is squaring Venus, and that Saturn is squaring Mercury. So keep that in mind on June 9th as you hit the thumbs up and the likes button. I thank you for subscribing. All right, so a few days later on June 13th, Saturn retrograde in Aries will begin. And we have to understand that this is the ruler of Pluto direct and Pluto retrograde 2025. So the authority within us will literally awaken. Okay, the masculine healing will start to begin. So we have to understand, like, it's going to have to do with retrograde in Saturn, but this retrograde is asking you, are you leading from ego or from essence? So let me know down in the chat and say, I'm leading from essence. If you are here to support the channel, let me know that this information is resonating, is hitting you really deep in the soul. All right, so I didn't do all the quincunxes that's going to happen, but I did do this one because it seems powerful and potent. June 24th, Pluto will quincunx Jupiter and the Sun in Cancer. So we know Jupiter in Cancer is exaltation, right? The Sun in Cancer that's what it is, and we're going to talk about it. So June 24th, an emotional expansion will crash, okay? Like waves against a wall, right? Against buried fears. And this is where Cancer shows things that happen behind the surface, behind the scenes, okay? This is going to be something where you're going to realize you cannot nurture everyone, and without including yourself, this is just not going to work. Like, you need to nurture yourself at the same time. Adjust your expectations during this phase and understand that this is what Cancer does. It changes because motions change, water changes. Adjust your expectations. This is going to be a transit of spiritual chiropractic cracking, okay? So, like, understand that the hidden side of our spine being Capricorn is Cancer, and so it's like this is the spiritual spine that will literally crack during this time. Understand, and go and refer back to the Thunderhorse medicine, and you'll get a better understanding. So hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you are brand new. We'll move on to the next day. So July 7th, we're going to have a little harmony. Thank God. And Pluto will trine. Pluto and Aquarius will trine Venus in Gemini. All right. Shout out to my Venus and Gemini people out there in the chat. I love you. Drop a Gemini symbol if you're checking this. This is when your voice will become tremendously magnetic. This is when you start throwing out some promotions, things that have been beneath the surface you've been holding on to, and you're ready to speak up. Love will become a very curious topic for you again, so be willing to get out there and flirt, but also be authentic, right? Don't be a liar on these digital apps about who you are, or put up fake photos and stuff like that in the media. It's gonna be it's a waste of this transit, okay? And this is when, you know, aligned intimacy will become something that is fully expressed, right? Like, it's not going to be perfect, and understand this is where Venus and Gemini can be very well adjusted as an air sign. So don't look for perfection, look for adjustments in your expressions and alignment. And then we move to the next one. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you resonated with that. Wait. July 25th. Oh man, it's going to be a doozy. Okay, this is when the Sun in Leo will be opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And when I tell you, your soul, okay, and your ego are going to lock eyes, right? And the thunderstorm will strike. Only one can lead, right? Too many chefs in the kitchen doesn't work very well. And this is when you're going to be asked to let go of the false light and embody real power. Okay, hear what I said, the false light. So the performative glamour, no, it's going to be like, no, stop that performative nonsense, okay? Visibility upgrades through shadow alchemy can be expected. So, hear what I said, through shadow alchemy, okay? Join and check in with our one-on-one membership, because these are the type of transits right here that's going to really show the true shaman within you. Wow. All right, this is a big one. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. All right, August 10th is going to be dope for all my Libra energies out there, okay? This is when passions will align for the long run. Mars is in Libra, okay? And Mars will trine Pluto, right? So what this looks like is you taking action rooted in your soul's truth, right? Listening to the angels and respecting your shadows and finding harmony between some of those shadows that happen and some of these more conflictual aspects that happened earlier. This is literally divine truth in motion, ladies and gentlemen, with that cardinal energy. So partnerships and passions will align for the long game. That's happening on August 10th with Mars and Libra trines Pluto. Thumbs up. Okay, this one's a doozy. August 27th, a few days later, Venus in Leo will be opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And this is when the lioness removes her crown and she will show you her wounds. This is an unmasking happening within love, right? Heartbreak will literally become the portal for authentic love that you will magnetize, okay, through vulnerability and, again, not performance. And so this is a huge word you keep hearing: performance, pride, ego. Leo is out here, and there's going to be a lot of confliction and tension that's going to happen. And so Venus and Leo opposite Pluto and Aquarius retrograde is going to be one of them. Hit the thumbs up and drop the Leo crown, saying, I'm ready to remove my crown and show you my wounds, but for truth and authentic intimacy. September 19th, we will be healing contracts, okay? Mercury, which literally is the contracts that we do, and Libra, which is partially contracts of the mind within our professional workspace and etc. and relationships, will be signed during this time. This is a time where you should actually, and likely, if you're being real, make a good chunk of money, okay? So Mercury and Libra trine Pluto is going to be about diplomatic truths that will actually land. So if you are being somebody real out here, your negotiations, your arts, your conversations will reveal the depth and the balance that you've been working on behind the scenes during this Pluto retrograde 2025. So the healing will begin, and this will be a soul-to-soul contract that will start up brand new. So really call in your soul tribes. If you want some rituals and things about this, come check and help your boy out, support your boy out, and potentially buy into our degree point theory that you'll see, where you'll get, again, 0 to 30 degrees, a ritual for everyone. And I'm sure we have some for Libra at these degrees. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button. All right, this is going to be one of the most powerful transits happening September 24th, okay? Mars in Scorpio, natural ruler, natural domain, will square Pluto in Aquarius, but there's more. The Sun in Libra will trine Pluto in Aquarius. So this is this shadowy warrior rising, okay? This is a tremendously powerful test of how you use your magnetic charm and your energy to destroy or to potentially transmute, right? The rays of the sun during this time can hold peace and power, and that's what this merge looks like, okay? So this is going to be something tremendously authentic and powerful. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button on this transit. Okay, October 7th, as you hit that thumbs up, we will have Mercury in Scorpio, who will then, once again, square Pluto. So understand, we're going through the evolution now, because some of this Leo energy that was happening earlier in these transits that were opposite Aquarius, now we're moving into the evolved form of Leo, which is Scorpio. And so this will be sacred secrets that will surface, okay? Mental obsessions that we have will start to actually reveal radical clarity, right? Like, you see my eyes, radical. You are going to be asked to choose depth over distortion. And this is when you may channel something that tremendously shocks even you, my Scorpios out there, my Aquarians out there, because both of these Scorpio and Aquarius are they handle shock well, so they think. Sometimes they do, sometimes. But this is going to be something where, you know, these secrets that surface, these obsessions, this radical clarity, embrace it. As you hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you are brand new. All right, so I'm making a series about the most shamanic placements in astrology, and October 14th is one of them, okay? So Pluto will go direct. Pluto is literally one of the most shamanic placements, right? And it will trine Venus and Libra on the same day or the next day, actually. And the rebirth will happen through beauty, okay? Venus will offer you her grace in this stage as she stations direct, and your feminine power will actually be meeting your transformation over the last 5 months or so, I don't know. And it's going to say, you were always this powerful, you were always this beautiful. So drop that in the chat, say I was always this powerful, and affirm it and confirm it with the universe, ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the all 12 zodiac signs. First, hit that thumbs up and that likes button. I thank you for being here. Do again consider joining my one-on-one mentorship, all right, whether online or we do some dream work and etc., or the one-on-one retreat. And there's an application for both, and there are different applications, and I updated those both, and I'm really excited about it. I put a lot of energy, effort to maximize it after the first couple rounds of my one-on-one shamanic mentees, who really are the teachers out in the world. You have a shaman deep within your soul, and if this is calling you, I want you to go check it out. Otherwise, if you're looking more for a community during Pluto retrograde energy, where you find all these false communities and these digital addictions to networks and social conformities, this ain't the one where you're going to be conforming. I want you to be an individual. Come check out our membership, and that will offer you a platform where, at a super duper low rate, an investment in yourself, you can actually engage with people who are currently in, I don't know, 7 different countries all over the world, which I think is part of the beauty of Aquarius within itself, coming together from different sects. So hit the thumbs up and likes button. Thank you for joining in. Hope you really enjoyed this research. I put a lot of effort into it. Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into all 12 zodiac signs and the forecast. Love. Last thing I needed to say as a closing message to all of this is, you know, let this lightning of this Pluto retrograde literally crack you open, right? When the dust settles, don't even be surprised, like, when this new version of you feels like an ancient being, okay, an ancient light soul. And with that being said, like, make sure you hit the thumbs up, likes button. If this message hits your soul, I want you to drop your rising sign down below, or one of the zodiac signs that you look for your forecast, so I can understand who am I talking to and give you more powerful and potent messages. Because if you're the audience, you're listening, I want to hear from you, okay? And if, again, you are looking for a potential private reading or retreat, meet your shadow and in this sacred space, check this description down below, and let's create this for you. I love you. Ciao. Your challenge is to let go of the need to lead without listening, Aries. Control is not leadership during this Pluto retrograde 2025, but your gift is to magnetize your tribe and step into this radical leadership based in collective liberation, Aries. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you agree. Release your identity tied to status, success, and social validation, Taurus. Pluto retrograde will demand it in 2025. That's your challenge. But your gift is this wild rebirth of your legacy, Taurus, okay? Aligned with soul purpose and ancestral truth. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you agree and you resonate. Burn away surface level spirituality and your scattered sacred beliefs, Gemini. That's what Pluto retrograde will demand of you, and it is your greatest challenge. However, your gift is a crystal clear channel that will emerge. You become a truth teller of the sacred codes that be. Drop Gemini symbol down below and say, I am a sacred truth teller. Don't cut cords, Cancer. Allow them to dissolve with trauma-bonded intimacies and emotional manipulation and dysregulation. That's your challenge that Pluto retrograde in Aquarius will ask of you, Cancer. However, for this Cancer horoscope, your greatest gift is to rise as a mystic, transforming others, okay, through the underworld processes. This is something that's going to be a gift as a guide to see behind the veil, Cancer, on this Cancer horoscope. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you agree. Surrender ego-based performances in love. Prideful reactions. That is your challenge, Leo, during this Pluto retrograde. Let go of the ego-based connections. However, your gift, okay, is aligned relationships will rise, and the mirrors of your unfulfilled soul expression will shine brighter than ever before. That's your gift, Leo. Hit the thumbs up, likes button, and subscribe if you agree. Deep perfectionism, okay, and healer's guilt is what will transform within you, and it is your greatest challenge, Virgo, during this Pluto retrograde 2025. However, your gift is your ability to embody sacred simplicity and offer frequency-based medicine from the soul. That's your gift, Virgo. If you agree, hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you're brand new. You're breaking addiction to outer beauty, Libra. Approval and validation. That's your greatest challenge during Pluto retrograde in Aquarius 2025. But your gift is that you become the artist of truth. Channeling abilities of rebellion and romance at a raw creative level will simply blossom at the end of this Pluto retrograde. Hit the thumbs up and likes button if you agree, and subscribe if you're brand new. You are dismantling inherited based manipulations and control within relationships and intimacy. These patterns are going to be your greatest challenge that have come from a survival mindset and bias, Scorpio. However, Scorpio, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius 2025 gives you a gift. And this gift is the rebirth of your emotional body, okay? Getting that energy out of the body through physical manipulation and creating an internal sanctuary that literally feeds your soul. That's what Pluto will give you in this rebirth process. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you agree. You end in spiritual bypassing, Sagittarius? Yeah, I'm talking to you. That's your greatest challenge during Pluto retrograde 2025. And you're going to be challenged to stop the scattered thoughts and scattered thinking. However, Pluto retrograde will give you a gift, Sagittarius. And that gift is to speak lightning transmitting soul messages and codes that will awaken the collective mind. You see the brightness in my eyes when I say this? This is your power and your gift during Pluto retrograde. Hit the thumbs up and likes button and subscribe if you agree. You are collapsing your false worth that is tied to your productivity. Okay, Capricorn? Ooh, that's a stinger. Pluto retrograde will demand it, okay, for your new value system. That's your greatest challenge. However, Capricorn, during this Pluto retrograde, you have a tremendous gift. And this gift is you will be rebuilding sacred wealth. It's going to be rooted in deep embodied worth. And soul level integrity. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button, Capricorn, if you agree on this Pluto retrograde message, and subscribe if you're brand new. Ooh, you need to detach from being different as an identity shield. God damn, Aquarius, that's what Pluto retrograde in your own side is showing up as? Ooh, we know y'all don't be showing y'all true selves, but Pluto will force it. That's your greatest challenge. Okay, Aquarius? However, your gift is going to be beautiful. You will emerge as a frequency holder. What? And it will happen for the new humanity, the new golden earth. Truthful, raw, revolutionary beings, aka all of you Aquarius, will be born. Give a thumbs up and a likes button if you agree with this new gift and you're ready to face this challenge during Pluto retrograde in your sign. Love. Let go of the martyrdom. You know this, Pisces. However, it's mostly about illusion-based compassion. This is really where the martyrdom is sourcing from. And it's your greatest challenge while Pluto is retrograde. Okay? Pluto retrograde will challenge you, Pisces, to check in with that great challenge. However, you will be gifted and awarded something tremendously beautiful, and you will be awakening this divine discernment, okay? So you understand when you're disillusioned in your compassion. You will be leading with a more mystical, if even possible, but grounded presence. And that's the true strength right there, the grounded presence of your mysticism, Pisces. During Pluto retrograde will give you this true new light that is not new at all. It's always been there. The thumbs up and the likes button, Pisces, if you agree, and subscribe.